Hello and welcome to my home. My name is Jackie. This is kind of a surprise video. I didn't plan on doing this video, but here we are. Sorry, the bags are moving. I'm doing a response video to Melissa Adam Wade. She did a video today called Buying Your First Luxury Bag. What should I know before buying luxury? And one of the questions she asked in that video was, have you bought a bag that didn't work out for you? Or your first luxury bags? And so I thought, it wasn't the first one that didn't work out for me. I had 5. Out of the first 5 bags I bought from luxury didn't work out for me. And that was a guess. And these were my Louis Vuitton bags because that's my luxury brand of choice. I probably had other brands. I still have other brands in my collection that are considered luxury, but for me, luxury, I always think of Louis. Louis is my go-to. And so instead of writing a novel in her comment section, I thought I'd write a video and share, since I have, so this is a come talk with me video. So I have over 100 bags. You know this. I've said it many times. One of these days I will actually give a real count. But right now I'm just like, I know there's 100 just in my bedroom. So, anyhow. So what did I do wrong? Like, oh, what happened? It's like, you bought how many bags that didn't work out? So, my very first luxury purchase wasn't for me. It was a gift. It was like in 2002, 2003. That was the only bag, and is remaining the only bag I have ever purchased from the boutique. I went to the Saks Fifth Avenue Louis Vuitton store, or what do you call it? It's a Louis Vuitton boutique inside the Saks Fifth Avenue department store. And I bought a bag for my cousin. Brand new, registered it, everything, got the bag, got everything. This is before I personally carried Louis. I was still in college. And I gave that to my cousin. She still has it. And every other Louis bag I've ever purchased has been pre-loved. I just couldn't. And I've walked into the boutique. I've been in Paris. I walked right by the store. It's just that I can't. It's like buying a car. It devalues as soon as you purchase it. And I know that. And so it's really hard for me to go into a luxury store and say, let me buy this wonderful thing that's going to devalue as soon as I purchase it by hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not more. And I can't do it, so the only brands I actually buy brand new from store are like, Dooney & Burke, some brands, Bradley London. They're contemporary brands. They're brands at a price point around a couple $100s, not a couple $1,000, especially on all the talking about the Chanel Classic Flap. Buying it brand new in store is 10 grand, but buying it pre-loved is 5. So why am I going to go to the store to buy it 10 grand? I don't need the newest bag. I never have. I prefer the bag that was from when I couldn't afford a bag in the 90s, when I was in my 20s. And that's when I really loved Louis the most, because I couldn't afford Louis and just loved it. So my first bag mistakes, I bought bags because I loved the way they looked. They were bags that I remembered seeing, didn't have them. I saw them, and I had the opportunity to buy them 20 years later. So the first bag I bought from LV, from my consignment friend, was a LV bucket bag. I don't remember the name. It has a name, but it's the bucket bag type that had the lining that is a coating, not a fabric. So I didn't know that. I didn't even know it was a fabric. Our lining coating. I thought it was a leather. I didn't know. I knew the canvas was canvas, but I thought the lining was leather. It felt like leather. It looked like leather. I didn't know it was a coating. So when I found out it was a coating, I was so afraid to use it, because that's how come these bags look beat up, or that vintage bag, because that lining doesn't survive well, right? So if you really use that tote type bag, because it was a tote type bag that was in a bucket that had two long straps, right? So I sold that bag. That's one of the few ones I bought for like $400 that I probably traded back or sold back for around $400 because I had it for a long enough time. The next bag I bought was, I had to have it, loved it, a Damier Azur. I think it's called a Sarah something, Sarah Cruz or Sarah. Very large, the very large tote, pleated, beautiful. But I put too much stuff in it and I couldn't carry it because that was when I was really overloading my bags and my shoulders were like, no, you can't carry this bag. So then I never carried the bag. And then I sold that bag and then I ended up getting, this is shocking. And I didn't know this. Again, I did not know this. And this is what I tell people, you really don't know if you like a bag until you try it. You really don't know if you like a bag until you use it. It lives with you. You wear it. And I don't have very much guilt for the bags I've sold. I do have guilt for the bags I haven't used because that means I don't know if they should be in my collection. The ones that I have used and have gone, I know they shouldn't be here because they don't work for me. As much as I love them, as much as I like looking at them, and I gave these bags plenty of time. I spent plenty of money on them and I was not willing to part with them. I wanted to love every bag. Every bag. And when I found out I didn't love it, I was sad. There was a time of mourning, and then there was a time of, I just have to let this go. Because as much as I love it, as much as I love the way it looks, as much as I love the way it feels, something about this bag does not work for me. So the next bag I got rid of, and this one hurts, is a Speedy bandolier in the empreinte leather. And it was that beautiful pink, like rose Purdue, whatever they're called. And then I'll lump this other one with it. This is a seasonal bag, and I can't remember the name, but it was this most beautiful, and I spent $2,000 for this bag. Used, right? Used. It was a limited edition, beautiful, like blueberry empreinte leather. I love that bag. I still love that bag. I put that on consignment, and I lost $1,000. I only sold it for $1,000, and it hurts still to this day. I just was so tempted just to keep it, to lose half value on something, because I'm selling it I sold it recently. It is a, seller's market, not a buyer's market right now. And I could have kept it and sold it at some other later date, but it hurt. It hurt. And it was hard to buy that bag. I bought it from a consignment person from Italy, right? And then I love it. Still love that bag. So why did I get rid of these two bags that I love? The empreinte Speedy, I spent $1,500 for. I was able to trade it for the same value. The other blue one, the blueberry one, I bought for $2,000, sold for $1,000. So that was a loss. I can't stand the empreinte leather. And that's what it is. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. And here's the thing. My mother has empreinte leather bags. I've seen her bags, but I never used her bags. I never held her bags. I didn't know. I did not know until I got it, owned it, used it, looked at it, and hate it. And why do I hate the empreinte leather? And this is why it kills me that LV keeps pushing empreinte, or the leather itself. Now, I haven't touched their other leather, but the empreinte leather, the pebble grain leather, to me, doesn't wear well. So both bags I bought were pre-loved and used, and they were starting to show some wear in the corners. And I'm not talking old bags. This bag was like a 2015 bag. I have Dooney bags that are pebbled leather that have never shown the wear the empreinte does, or the color transfer that went onto that pink bag, or just the way it was a fully leather bag that was so finicky and delicate that to me it's like, no, I'm not keeping this. I can't keep this. Now, I can't. Both of those bags are around the same years, about 2015. So maybe it was a set year batch. I don't know. But I will never touch another empreinte leather bag again, and I still love that blueberry one. I still love it. But I wasn't using it because I was so afraid of damaging it or scuffing it. And then I said, why did I spend all this money on something I can't use? And so that's the bucket bag, the Sarah bag, the Speedy, and then this other bag, I can't remember the name. And there was, the shame. So I sold the Speedy and that blueberry bag to get the carry-all, the new carry-all, you know, in monogram, because I've realized what I like is monogram. And I wanted that carry-all. I wanted that carry-all. I could taste it. I loved it. It was beautiful. Everything gorgeous. Never touched it. I got it. I put it on layaway. My consignment friend, she happened to have one that somebody had purchased it brand new, but missed her return window. She wanted the one that was the crossbody, which is the larger size, is the smaller size. So I spent $2,600. Consignment cash happened, sold stuff happened to get this bag. Months happened. I get the bag. I used it twice. It was in my collection for 6 months. I sold it. Yep. It was too much money. I lost money to buy that bag. I lost money when I sold that bag. It was the most expensive bag in my entire collection at $2,600. And I sold it because it didn't work. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But because the way the bottom of it was folded, the way it seamed, the way it's constructed, even though it's canvas, I was too worried about putting it on the floorboard of my car. And that is where I throw my bag. Literally throw my bag on a rubber mat floorboard. It's not the floorboard, it's not the rubber mat, but underneath your seat is metal structures that glide, so your seat can glide forward and back. I was too afraid of my bag getting squished underneath the seat somehow, because it happens, and getting scratched or torn or ripped or whatever, so I didn't use it. And if I can't use it, I can't keep it. It's supposed to be a work bag for me. It was supposed to be, take it to work, put all my stuff in it, take it home. It'll be great. It wasn't great. And it pains me so much to tell you this, but it didn't work. I had to, and that bag turned into 2 bags because, so with my Speedy journey, and I haven't showed you, it's in my bedroom, I was able to get a Speedy 35 in the fabric, not canvas, not leather, but they did a fabric version. I can't remember the name of it, way back when, so it's vintage. And I got this one, which I've shown you. I think I've shown you. Maybe I haven't shown you this bag, with that bag, and for the carry-out. Now this one has become my #1 bag in my entire collection. If I haven't shown you, I probably put it on Instagram and haven't did a film on this, but this is my #1 bag in my entire collection. This one fits my shoulder. It's lightweight. I don't overload it because I use the same amount of stuff in all my bags in this bag. I love this medallion right here. I love everything about this bag. And it costs, and they sell those for around $500 to $1,000 right now because it's a bag that's vintage, so you don't make it anymore. So in the journey of my bags, I also had a couple vintage other bags. I had a vintage Graceful and Damier Ben, not Graceful. Yeah, Graceful and Damier, not Damier Ben, Damier Azur, the white one. I had it might not be it was a Graceful, but it had friction on the canvas, and it was starting to rub off the canvas. So I bought it used for $500. I sold it, I think, for under $400. I had a Sarah wallet. Sold that wallet. I didn't use it anymore. I had, all of this is preloved, and then I had a Hudson bag. Love that bag. I sold that to buy the carry-all. So I sold a bunch of things. So the Hudson I would have kept, but I was assuming that the carry-all was going to replace my everyday running around bag. And so I sold that bag. I regret selling that bag a little bit because I loved it, but I love all my bags. So it's always a process, right? So this is one of the few bags, one of my very first LV bags I've ever purchased. This is amongst the first 5 that I still have. This was $1,500 when I bought it used. And I have this because this is James's favorite bag that I own in the luxury collection. My favorite bag he owns is actually my Disney Cusco bucket bag from Dooney & Burke. His #1 favorite. This is his second favorite. Or actually, this is his third favorite. His second favorite is my Rowan Pride Collection bag. These 3 are his of all the bags I own. These are his favorite. He likes contrast. He likes color. And this has been replaced, honestly. He likes the Cusco bag more. But I like the LV bag. I still love LV. I love the LV monogram. It is my favorite. I like it because it's lightweight. I like it because it's durable. I have currently 6 LV bags in my collection. That is what I consider my luxury collection. And I will eventually show you the whole collection at one time so you can see how weirdly eclectic it is. They're not quite, they're not current. They're really not current. I mean, nothing I have really is new. Nothing is like, if I watched the brand new cruise line for the fall on the show, because I have the app, and I watched it, and there's a couple bags that I really love, but I don't have $3,000 for that. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, that's like my take-home paycheck for the month, the entire month after taxes and all things, you know. I work for the state. I'm a state worker. I make an average income. I work my butt off for what I have. I could make more money in the private sector, but I don't want to work for the private sector. And I'm just like, I don't have $3,000 for a canvas bag, people. They're not making those things for me. I know that, you know. So I still just buy preloved because there's tons of preloved bags. There's like this design. I love everything about this design. It's not current. It's not modern. I don't even know what year this came, because I can't read date codes. And I don't even know what year this came out in. I love this bag. I think this is the most beautiful bag. They don't sell it anymore. Well, they don't sell it in the store. I mean, they sell it pre-loved, you know. But I think this is like one of the most beautiful bags I have ever had. I love the pleating. I love the slouchy. I love the dome right here. I love the straps. I love the fact that they can go up and down. I like the little cross right here. There's nothing about this I don't like. It's lightweight. I can wear it on my shoulder without being in pain. It stays on my shoulder, which is a bonus, because not all handbags do. That's why when you see my channel, you're going to see mostly vintage bags, because that's really what I like. I like things that aren't currently popular, not because I'm not adverse to new and modern. I'm just, the things I really enjoy happened 10 years ago. And I know they keep trying to reinvent stuff. Like in the new cruise collection, they pulled out from their archives a bag that was popular in the 90s. But that was one of the few bags that just stayed in the 90s. Not everything needs to be resurrected. Not everything. And I love the 90s, okay? But they just pull out things from their archive, they tweak it, and they said, this is new. Well, it's new to everybody who was born in 2000, but I was born in 78. Actually, sorry, 79. I'm 42. I've seen that. You know, so, or I saw where that was inspired from. So when you want to buy your first luxury bag, like Melissa says, there's lots of things you have to consider. And one of the things I did not consider was, because I had never touched or played or gone in, I really didn't even go to the store. I bought these, they're consignment person, and the first time I had them is when I bought them, you know, was, yeah, maybe you should go to the store and consider and look and touch and feel. And, or if you have a friend that has something that you like, hey, can I borrow your bag? One of my, oh, that's right, I have 7 LV bags. One of my bags is on vacation with a friend of mine. She's being borrowed. So the stressa, the LV stressa bag, that one's being borrowed. And with my friend, it's the only one I have in the damier azur. I don't have any of the damier bean at all. It's all the monogram or the azur. I don't have any leather, oh, no, I lie. I have, oh, okay, 7, 8. I have 8 LV bags. 9. They're just not here. One's being repaired in at a leather shop. One's coming from LV repair, and I'll have a video on that one. But that one's mine, but it's gonna go to Denmark. It's gonna take a long holiday for life. It's going over to see my mother and stay with my mother. And then I have an epi leather shopper tote that I do have, that I do count in my, so technically I have 7 that are here, and the other 2 are floating around. So anyhow, I just want to say that you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna, maybe your dream bag isn't your dream bag. Maybe that bag you have spent your whole life wanting and you get it, doesn't work. Don't feel bad for turning it around or when you get it brand new from shop and you get it home and you have that 1 month window, because you can't try these bags out in the store, or 2 month window, whatever the window is for return. Make sure you use that bag or look at it, touch it. I mean, don't use it outside. Like, put your things in it, put it on your shoulder. Really don't get blinded by the beauty. Really look at, will I use this? And if the answer is, I love you, but I don't think you fit, return it. Return that. And I'm not a return person. I hate returning things. But when you're looking at bags that cost this much money and you have the grace of that window, use it, because you're not able to go into the store and play with it. Like, the first time you see a Birkin is probably the first time when you buy it. You know, the first time you use a Kelly is the first time you use it is when you buy it. There is no trying it on first. There's no, let me go to the store and let me look. There aren't any, you know. So just be wise about what you really want in a bag, what you'll really use. And sometimes it's a season. Sometimes those bags I sold, the Hudson worked. Nothing wrong with it. But I stopped using it because I had other bags that did this purpose, the same purpose. It was a crossbody. And I said, you know what, I could sell this. I love this. But I knew that if I kept it even longer, because it's vintage, I would end up having to replace all the leather. And I already know how much that cost, because 3 of the bags I have replaced all the leather on. It is not inexpensive. It is a decision and a choice. It is I could have bought new bags versus getting them repaired, but they're not made anymore. They're just simply not made anymore. So if they're not made anymore, you have to replace the leather, or live with it in the condition that it's going to eventually go into. And I decided that I didn't want to do that. So I said, while it was still in good condition and still had value to somebody else, I said, let them have this bag. And I sold it for, I think, $500. And I bought it for $500. Anyhow, I know I did not mean to have a 20-minute rant on luxury bags. But it wasn't even a rant. It wasn't even meant. I mean, her video was like, I think 15 minutes on how to decide what you should do when you buy your first luxury bag. Well, I'm giving you is 20 minutes of my regrets. So what I wish I should have done differently, which was, I wish I had done a little bit more research, and not felt so guilty originally about not loving something I thought I would love. And that happens to all of us. You think you've seen this, you've coveted it, you've looked at it, you've looked on every review, you have decided, I'm going to spend my hard-earned money and I'm going to go buy this very expensive bag and I'm going to love it. And then you get it and you're like, oh, I don't love it. And that is a letdown, and that's disappointing. And then you had to explain to a spouse or your friends or your family, whoever, so, hey, what happened to that bag you bought? I thought you loved that bag. You're like, well, I didn't really love it, and I sold it, and I lost money, and so it's kind of a slippery slope. But you don't know what works for you until you use it, and you don't know what you like until you have it. So don't feel bad about turning your collection over or never using it. I have a couple bags that I have are just decorations. I will never use them, but they only cost me a few dollars. They weren't thousands. I don't have the luxury of spending thousands on something that I look at. So, anyhow, I just wanted to give a shout out to Melissa. Her video is linked in my, I'll put the video that I watched in my box below. And if y'all have any questions or want to see something different in my collection, let me know. I do have 2 more bags coming in the mail, 3 more bags coming in the mail. And then I think I am done with bags, for a bit, because the budget is screaming. And as I pull out more and more bags, I realize I don't have enough space for all of them. I know. My husband's like, excuse me. And we do have a spare room, which I have wanted to turn into my purse room, but it's my actual guest room. And the reason why I'm filming in that room is that's also where the gun collection is, because we have one of those. And it was like, maybe this is not the best backdrop, So I said, we'll just film in my living room. So here we are. Welcome to my home. Enjoy the eye candy, and I will talk to you again in another video. Thank you so much for this, for listening to my rant this long.